Hey guys, how's it going? See here, how's it going, buddy? You came to say bye because it's 5 a.m.? Jesus Christ. 5 a.m.? Where are you? Oh, you're in India. Yeah. Okay, no. We talked about this. Just finished volume 2 of RI yesterday. Oh shit, how was that? You're reading, do a day stream soon though? Weekend. Unknown for sure. I just saw your description. It still says you're new to streaming. I am, bro. Crazy how time flies. I was tweaking a bit, but it's a great novel. Nice. By accident. Shit. I'm so fire in my heart. Oh, Sir Tuking out was the funniest thing. Nice. Okay, so something like... Nation not aware of, no matter how far. Nice. Are you finished? Or like caught up with Revenant Insanity Unknown? I can't say finished because the author's not finished. Mime, Court Jester, T-1000, that's the Terminator. I'm on the last volume, 300 chapters left to go. I see, nice. Pushkar is caught up. Mockingbird, Field Mouse, Tom, Court Jester. No way, you go! Looking Glass. Spectacles, Looking Glass. For you to react to some part of it. Cool. Caught up by then. Uth is also caught up to some point. What? I thought Uth was reading with me. What? How could he? So sad. Did I turn it off? I didn't. Sorry, I have the World Cup game on the side. I promise I won't pay too much attention to it. Just a little bit. I don't fucking know. Fuck off. What do you got? Who do you think is winning the World Cup game? Like, as in who's winning this game? I would probably bet on Croatia. Or maybe I just want Croatia to win, who knows. I will say Portugal is doing a lot better at attacking so far this game, but I still don't like their odds. Oh shit, I did this yesterday? Fuck. They are getting kind of, yeah, I agree. That's all three. Do you have any expectations for our ride? Absolutely zero. I am expecting the main character to be an absolute sociopath based on what little you guys have described to me, but not much beyond that. Double check, always goated. And then we go here. He has to take Smother Mate. Nice. No. Here. Oh, nice. Covers this, nice. As you should. Okay, don't say it like that. Fuck, one square too high. Shit. Apparently is an understatement. Apparently is not a statement at all, actually. Oh, here. Now I lose. Fuck. A little bit, Seer. A little bit. You're fine. By the way, how do you guys like the title? I kept it still vague enough that no one would really get it, but little. You can spoil the whole thing. I doubt anyone's reading. True. How was your day? Pretty good, man. I've just been training someone this week, so I'm not actually doing any work. I'm having someone else do all the work and then going, yeah, you're actually shit at the job, mate. Which, in fairness, he is shit at the job, though. He's like, our jobs are complicated. I understand. I don't mean to, shit on him. But dude, come on. I know what our training is like. You should know some of this stuff. Come on. Fuck. But it's okay. I'll do my best to get him up to speed. And if not, I'll message his manager and say, hey man, just a heads up. Be careful. I spent the last hour just yapping in Discord about my insane koi theory because I'm not done it. Wait, you're not done koi. So, are you just reading with me then? What do you mean you're not done koi? Dude, I can beat him if there's a chance. I win! I got the fucking first one wrong! And I beat him! Idiot. I started koi after you and I went out volume at 7. Oh yeah, I remember you. I remember that, yeah. Talking all that shit. I think I'm actually ahead of this. I feel like I forgot to update. I think I'm at 911. What? 911 are heroes, Seer. How dare you? Our first responders at 911 are heroes. How dare you talk down to them? That will not stand in my chat. Reanimated female corpse. Frank and the others were all startled. Last night, LEMMiNO had said he intuitively believed that before long they would encounter the reanimated female corpse, and they ran into her today. Where? Jenna asked. LEMMiNO looked around towards the escalator without showing any outward signs of abnormality. In the supermarket, he said. He didn't immediately turn around to track the corpse, because Franca glanced at the corner of the ceiling, then carelessly looked around. Very much so not, yep. The first action was to remind LEMMiNO that there were multiple cameras, while the latter's behavior implied there were many people around, many phones, and if it were to cause a commotion, it would likely be filmed as a short video, uploaded online and become a trending topic, and if that happened, it would definitely catch the celestial worthy's attention. Although LEMMiNO could use a mirror maze and other illusions to affect cameras and other phones, this wasn't a scenario that was preset. He would have to chase all the way and couldn't use mirror magic every step of the way. It was only because they lived in a rather dilapidated area of the old town that there were quite a few cameras on the main road and the entrances of the residential areas. Once, in quiet alleys that few people walked, there wasn't much surveillance, otherwise LEMMiNO's act of moving Danet's corpse would have been recorded long ago. Franco would have certainly have stopped him first at that time, telling him to find a blind spot in the surveillance to take out a mirror. Create a mirror maze step by step before approaching the corpse. Hearing his godfather's answer that the corpse was in the supermarket, Ludwig's eyes lit up. as he raised his short arm. "Let's go chase her!" "Kid, you've gotten smarter, even knowing how to take advantage. I can't tell if you want to use this as an excuse to go get food in the supermarket, or if you think that corpse would be more delicious," Franca thought. Jenna instinctively understood Franca's hint and smiled. We can't track with so many people. Anthony and I will take Ludwig to the car first. You and Lumion go into the market to find her." The expression of expectation and desire on Ludwig's face froze. "Alright," Franca said as she took out the car keys and tossed them to Jenna. "I also want to contribute," Ludwig said, as he was dragged away by Jenna in disappointment. Franca quickly turned around, grabbed a shopping cart from nearby, and pushed towards the supermarket. Lumion followed beside her, his gaze sweeping over the displays and shelves. While searching for traces of the corpse, Franca began picking out items. "Grab that can of lard, some light soy sauce, dark soy sauce, salt, MSG, chili oil," she ordered Lumion without hesitation. Although cooking at home wastes time, it saves money. Later, they could go to the frozen goods wholesale market to buy some cheap items. The only problem was that in the refrigerator in the rental apartment was too small. So you can buy things this way. Lumion experienced for the first time the joy of picking up goods himself without needing to find a salesperson. He interestingly placed a bottle of alcohol in the cart. "This is cooking wine." "Well, we need it, I suppose," Franca said. The two chatted and laughed, moving through the supermarket harmoniously. Under this disguise, they confirmed the situation of every corner of the supermarket but found no trace of the corpse. "She may have already left. Let's check out," Franca said. "We'll take turns cooking later," Lumion said. Franca patted Lumion's shoulder and said, "I'm looking forward to your culinary skills." This trip, the two bought nearly 500 yuan worth of goods, most of which were inexpensive ingredients that could fill stomachs. After leaving the supermarket, Lumion and Franca quickly scanned around but still didn't see any signs of the corpse. Almost simultaneously, Franca noticed a shop with lottery written on it. Her heart stirred and she turned her head to Lumion. "Can you still use your abilities to magnify fate and compel fate?" "Of course," Lumion said, "but only at a sequence 7. I can influence relatively crucial and important fates unless their probability is already high." A smile blossomed on Franca's face. "Let's go buy some lottery tickets," she said. Is she wanting to magnify the fate stream of her winning or forcibly compel fate to that direction? Lumion knew what lottery meant. In the past, Aurora would occasionally give him gifts in the form of lottery tickets. Let's give it a try. Lumion's subtext was to buy a small amount first. Even if compelling fate was ineffective in Mr. Fool's dream, they wouldn't lose too much. Franca rubbed her hands together and walked to the lottery booth. Before transmigrating, she would buy 10 or 20 yuan worth of lottery tickets every week or two, purely for entertainment. Now, she had come with good luck. She didn't directly buy lottery tickets like the double color ball, but instead spent 50 yuan on different versions of scratch cards. As she paid and made her selection, Lumion's eyes took on a silver-white color. He reached out to Franca, embracing her shoulder in a couple-like gesture, using this to complete the touch on the river of fate. The corresponding stream magnified. Franca twisted her body instinctively, not quite comfortable with such an embrace. She quickly returned to a normal state, allowing Lumion to embrace her. Her eyes had lit up, scratching off the corresponding numbers, worth 50 yuan. While Lumion was paying attention to the various grand prize information being announced, Franca scratched all the lottery tickets, winning a total of 2,000. "Haha," she laughed. They had made a profit. After cashing in the prizes, Franca said to Lumion, "I'm going to buy a few double-color ball tickets. Don't worry about those fates for the grand prize. A third or second prize would be great." Lumion nodded. As they walked towards the nearest direct elevator, Lumion asked Franca, "Why don't you want to win the first prize? I see the first prize is worth a lot." "Didn't you say that currently you can only influence fates that aren't too crucial? That kind of overnight wealth probably can't be achieved. Besides, even if you did, the final result may not be what I bought. Fate has been long predestined." After complaining a bit, Franca asked, "Did magnified fate not just succeed now?" "No." "My money!" Franca blurted out. Good thing it wasn't much, I suppose. "I only realized this wasn't an instant win lottery when you were buying it. The results won't come out for days. The corresponding fate streams are complex and intricate, too many variables. I can't see which one leads to the winning one. I can only magnify the one with special characteristics. What the result will be, I have no idea." "We can only pray to the fool's blessing," Franca said. Seeing that the direct elevator was about to arrive, Lumion looked left and right. "We're under surveillance, so that corpse should be too. Is there any way to check the mall surveillance footage to see what she came to do?" "Yo, Kami, how's it going, man?" "Sneak in at night and take a look ourselves," Lumion suggested. "The major arcana holders told us to obey the law. Why do you think you want to dance on the edge of breaking it?" It's fine if we don't get caught, Lumion said. We can't just report it to the police and let them investigate, can we? Wouldn't that turn it back into a confrontation between Mr. Fool and Celestial Worthy? We'll see how it goes tonight, Franca said. Franca looked at Ludwig, in a rented apartment on the 6th floor. Franca looked at Ludwig, his head buried in a large bowl. My cooking skills aren't bad, eh? She said. This child is quite easy to feed. Noodles, seasoning, and toppings and a bit of minced meat. Satisfies him. It's quite good, but I hope you're not only capable of making noodles, Lumion said. I hope your culinary skills are as good as you say, Franca responded. Just as Lumion was about to say something, his expression changed. He took out a mirror from his pocket, the mirror that contained Danitz's corpse. At this moment, a pale hand without luster reflected in the surface. Oh, sounds good, Kami. This hand was reaching out from the darkness towards the outside of the mirror. Black flames restraining madness and violence condensed on both sides of Lumion, falling onto the mirror like meteors. With a slight explosive sound, the mirror suddenly shattered to pieces, enveloped by black flames, losing its limited spirituality. Crackling sounds continued to ring out on the mirror as much as possible, breaking into even smaller pieces. The pale hand was no longer visible on the surface of these fragments. Has the Oracle's corpse reanimated? Jenna looked at the scene and asked. Lumion looked at the dull, dark mirror fragment and said, "There's a problem with the corpse, but I don't know why." Franca asked, "Now that the mirror is broken, has the corpse fallen into the depths of the mirror world? Lost its turbulent flow?" Each mirror had a corresponding area behind it, connected by illusory dark tunnels, forming the mirror world. Once a mirror broke, the corresponding area behind it disintegrated. If things placed there couldn't escape in time through the spiderweb-like tunnels, they would be swallowed by the turbulent flows and dragged to its depths. The environment and hidden dangers were fatal to Beyonders without a complete mythical form. So, even demigods will die there? Only angels can survive? Goddamn. When a mirror broke, it essentially formed more but smaller mirrors. However, from a mystical concept, it had been destroyed as a whole, completely losing its original symbolism and function. The new mirrors produced needed time to evolve their own areas, connected to the vast mirror world, become mirrors in a complete sense. In other words, for a time, these mirror fragments cannot be used to reflect enemies, transmit curses, or traverse through the spirit world. Of course, Lumion just destroyed the mirror with a fire destruction, so the fragments formed had been completely destroyed in a mystical sense and could not evolve areas behind them. Lumion carefully said the Oracle's corpse has indeed been carried away by the spatial turbulence of the mirror world. Even angels would find it difficult to delve deeper into the mirror world to find and bring it out, unless they're angels of the door pathway, I suppose. But this doesn't mean the Oracle's corpse will drift into the depths forever until it is torn apart and annihilated by the dangers there. There's a chance that after some time it'll be thrown out by spatial turbulence, emerging from a random mirror. Mr. Fool's dream world is mainly the city, right? If the Oracle's corpse comes out of a mirror, do we have a way to confirm the problem it had? Jenna asked. Yes, let's wait patiently for now, until spiritual intuition gives us a hint. The corpse of Danitz was hidden by him and had a close mystical connection. Franca nodded, took out her phone, then started browsing trending topics, sometimes laughing out loud and sharing the memories with Lumion, Jenna, and Anthony. By the time Ludwig had finished his 6th bowl of noodles and was looking at his phone, Lumion showed a smile and said the Oracle's corpse should have left the mirror world. Quickly use magic mirror divination to confirm its location, Franca said. No need, Lumion chuckled. He looked at Ludwig. Ludwig put his right hand in his mouth, retched a few times, and vomited a small clump of hair. We can directly determine the location using the Oracle's hair. When did you take a clump of hair from the corpse to hide it in Ludwig? Last night before bed, when Anthony was on night watch. He died so suddenly and bizarrely. Of course I had to guard against the corpse reanimating. Hiding some of the hair can counter divination and prophecy. Chris, how's it going, man? He's so okay with just feeding this child whatever. Saying this, Lumion held a small clump of hair and said, "Let's go." Almost simultaneously, he burned parts of the hair and smeared the residue on the surface of a mirror. As the residue seeped in, the mirror emanated a dark, watery light. There were oil-stained walls, a spatial area, and a floor covered in dust and rat droppings, quite dirty glass windows, and Danitz's corpse lying on the ground. It looks like an abandoned factory. The machines have been moved away, Franca said. In the suburbs, less than 10 kilometers. Teleport over? Jenna asked. Lumen could rely on mirror traversal to directly go to another mirror within 10 kilometers that he had located, and he would now lock onto the glass window that he had ejected from the Oracle's corpse. Even without knowing the location, he could sense the mirror within 500 meters and jump to them. Moreover, the teleportation could still be used, but it was restrained to positioning within 1 kilometer. Beyond that, he needed to be there to have correct coordinates. Lumen nodded, letting his teammates grab hold of him, and took out a mirror that Franca had placed on a table. Passing through the dark, illusory tunnels, they plunged into the depths of the mirror world, falling to the window. Amidst Anthony's dizziness, 5 figures rapidly emerged on the dirty glass on the abandoned factory. Lumen didn't linger, sensing other mirrors within 500 meters and jumping over. Appearing at the top floor of the office building beside the factory, left the glass windows serving as a mirror, each hiding themselves, gazed towards the Oracle's corpse. Don't chew, just hold it in your mouth. Lumen handed Ludwig a lollipop to shut him up. Aaron, how's it going, man? Franca and Jenna were already examining the Oracle's corpse, finding that because it had been hidden in the mirror world, there were no signs of decay yet. But whether it was the bloodless face, the eyes frozen in fear, or other details, all indicating the Oracle had been dead for over 10 hours. Nothing unusual, Franca said. Lumen remained motionless, patiently observing. After nearly 5 minutes in their line of sight, the Oracle's fingers twitched. Damn it, back from the dead? The Oracle first moved its fingers, then raised its arm, slowly standing up, its expression wooden, reanimated. The reanimated corpse walked towards the outside of the factory, neither fast nor slow, walking all the way out of the deserted factory towards the roadside. Before long, an empty green taxi passed by and the corpse raised its right hand, hailing it. The taxi stopped in front of him. He opened the door slowly and sat on the back. Franca said, "How does this feel even more horrifying than the real world? Is it the death pathway?" Lumen didn't lead the team to track the taxi because the mirror infused with the Danitz's hair residue was still showing the current state of the corpse. Franca and Jenna tried magic mirror divination to determine what was going on with the Oracle's corpse. Why New Hampshire? It's not working. Those beings who know a lot and are relatively safe aren't responding. They're not in this dream. Yeah, magic mirror divination has failed too, Jenna said. There is one who will answer in here. The servant of his master. You can ask someone I know. Lumen took a moment and said, in Mr. Fool's dream, the subjects of inquiry for the magic mirror divination, apart from one's own spirituality, should be those true gods who can directly project themselves in. But we must ensure that the corresponding projection exists in the time of divination, and that the recited honorific name is not wrong. Where this stuff happens. Inquiring of other creatures existing in the local spirit world may be equivalent to asking Mr. Fool. We may get the best revelation, or we may directly be kicked out of the dream. We also don't have the correct descriptions. Who dares to inquire true gods, Franca said. There's one chance. The major arcana holders mentioned it. It is the magic mirror belonging to Mr. Fool. It hasn't come to that yet, has it? Franca thought. Lumen tersely responded, his gaze fixed on the mirror showing the Oracle's corpse. After 20 more minutes, the taxi stopped at the entrance of the hospital. Mushu Hospital. Mushu Hospital? The Oracle's death is related to the Mother Tree of Desire? Lumen didn't answer her, watching as the corpse of Danitz took out a phone with multiple missed calls and from his pocket scanned a code to pay the fare, walking slowly to the outpatient building of the hospital. As soon as the corpse walked through the gate, Lumen's mirror rippled with waves emanating darkness, no longer able to show the location. I want to go there. Go in and see where the corpse will go, Lumen said. Shouldn't a corpse go to the morgue? Change your appearance before going in, Jenna said to Lumen. It may be easier to expose yourself within the hospital, and we can't affect your mental state. Lie alone may not be enough. Okay, Lumen said. As he answered, his hair began to grow longer. What is she even doing in the dream? She doesn't want to be left out. 2 great old ones fighting here, and she's like, what? I'm supposed to leave? Fuck that. Think about it. Actually, all of the pillars are... The Mother Tree of Desire is a pillar, right? If I'm not wrong. Amon is here, so Adam is here in one way or another. No? Mother Tree of Desire? So which one was it? I swear. Mother Goddess of Depravity. Oh, I see. What the fuck is going on with my chair? What the fuck? Hold on. Dude. There we go. Okay. Seeing this, Anthony didn't try to test himself and proactively left the office. In just about 10 or 20 seconds, he heard Lumin's voice. You can come in now. Compared to before, this voice wasn't as low as and subdued. Anthony pushed open the door and saw Lumin had changed into a slightly waist-cinching white dress brought from earlier from the female identity, paired with jeans accentuating a slender waist and long straight legs. Lumin slightly gathered the glossy black hair falling on both sides, covering most of the cheeks, and said to Anthony, "Let's go back to the rental apartment first." Anthony grabbed the sleeve of Lumin's shirt while Franca and Jenna each took a hold of an arm. Ludwig, with still a lollipop in his hand, chose to tug at his godfather's clothes. The group's figure soon faded and disappeared from this long-abandoned office without cameras, reappearing in the rental apartment. Lumin said to Franca, "You must drive to Mushu Hospital and wait for me outside. We may not have the chance to teleport and escape later." This didn't mean he couldn't teleport, but rather if he used it in front of a large crowd, it would become a trending topic and be reported. "Okay," Franca said. "Once inside the hospital, you need to frequently look in the mirror, pretend you're touching up your makeup. In this matter, a female appearance had a natural advantage, making it less likely for people to notice anything." Lumin cut the lipstick and lip balm, and based on the location he had obtained while monitoring the Oracle's corpse, he teleported to the plant-filled edge of Mushu Hospital. His supermodel-like height and the skin condition, contour details, and lip curves revealed beneath the black hair and sunglasses made passerbys and patients look twice. They seemed to want to use their brains to fill in the blanks and reconstruct the possibly world-class beauty hidden behind the sunglasses. Some people accidentally bumped into others, missing a step and nearly falling. Their only regret was that this beauty was wearing sunglasses and didn't walk gracefully enough, standing fiercely like a man. Lumin slowed his pace as if trying to recall how Aurora walked. After passing through the security and entering the outpatient building, he stopped, took out a makeup mirror, and added some shine and moisture to his lips. "Leonard, how's it going, man? I have it on this monitor right here." 00? Yeah, I'm aware. Plus it's halftime. During the process, he found that the mirror had once been smeared with the Oracle's hair residue could once again reflect certain scenes. These included Danitz's back, the medicine collection window, passing patients and family members caring for them. Lumin discerned the direction and walked towards the medicine collection window. He didn't walk fast, his gaze seemingly casually surveying the people around him. Everything normal, without any scene of desire outbursts. Vaguely, Lumin had a sense of familiarity. It wasn't that he had been to a similar place before, but it came from the depths of his soul. Lumin pursed his lips and lost in thought. Is it Aurora's memory? Did she frequent this kind of large hospital before her transmigration? Did her soul fragments become a little more active after I became a female? Or because I'm in this dream? A city similar to her own. Quickly, Lumin suppressed the emotions, remembering that he had entered this hospital to track down Danitz's corpse. His gaze swept over faces, some wearing masks, some with hidden worry, feeling that this shouldn't be much different from a normal hospital. And he saw a familiar figure. A male orderly who had mentally broken down last night due to the female corpse coming back to life. This orderly was wearing a mask, pushing a transfer bed as he passed by with no fear or worry in his eyes. He still dare work here? The orderly seemed to have forgotten about his desecration of the corpse, and also the horror of the corpse. It was as if someone had told him that the female corpse wasn't dead, and his misconduct had actually helped her escape her state of apparent death. Lumin slowly shook his head, took out the lip balm and makeup mirror and once again track the whereabouts of the corpse. The scene presented in the mirror was an area with 8 elevators. The back of Danette's had just passed through the elevator doors and with the outside button lit up with a downward arrow. Is this going to be one? Is the destination really the morgue? Lumen passed by the front of the medicine collection window and turned towards the nearby stairwell. Which chapter are you planning to go to? 920 maybe? Lumen looked left and right, thinking that he should prepare some masks for him and the other demonesses. This could effectively conceal their faces. The elevator came rather slowly. It took Lumen 2 or 3 minutes to wait for an elevator that was continuing downwards. The people inside poured out, leaving only a patient sitting in the wheelchair and an orderly in green clothes. The orderly wore a mask and the patient was quite elderly. Their gazes turned to Lumion. Lumion was about to step and stopped, feeling that the elevator lacked light. It was as if a giant's mouth was about to close. The elevator's double doors closed, the interior growing darker. Lumion watched expressionlessly, abandoning his intent to enter. He sensed danger. And his spiritual intuition, coupled with the slight activity of Aurora's soul fragments, made him aware of what the hidden dangers in the eyes of those two people were. An intense desire. The doors closed and the downward arrow went out, and the numbers began to change. Going to be one. The morgue would be dangerous, Lumen thought for a few seconds. After some consideration, he gave up the impulse to go down via the stairs. Should I call the police? Just say I saw the missing Danettes enter the hospital? Just as Lumen had this thought, his phone began to vibrate. He took out the phone and saw it was from Lu Fu. On the ID card given by Madame Justice, it was Franca's name. Hello? Lumen said, answering it rather awkwardly. Franca, driving the vehicle, looked ahead. You better not delve into the hospital right now. Wait for the police to investigate. Why? Lumen thought. I was shocked by the Oracle's corpse coming to life earlier, and didn't notice some details. It only dawned on me after getting in the car. When the corpse got off at the hospital, did it use a phone to scan and pay? Yes, Lumen said. The Oracle has already been classified as missing, and when a missing person's phone suddenly makes a payment, don't you think it would attract the police's attention? The police should be arriving at the hospital soon. If you snuck into places with secrets, you may run into them. Can it work like that? Really? Now, he didn't need to find a way to call the police. The police in this dream were so much more effective than those in Trier. Lumen held his phone, pretending to receive an urgent call, and left the stairwell. He made his way back to the medicine collection area and hid amongst the crowd. Before long, he saw Officer Deng in the dream projection of Mr. Starr. Lumen played the role of a spectator, watching the commotion, patiently waiting for nearly 20 minutes until the police returned. They were carrying a stretcher with a person on it, completely covered by white cloth. The Oracle's corpse, Lumen thought. Then he became puzzled. They found the corpse like that? Nothing happened? Back in the car driven by Franca, Lumen recounted what had just happened, and Franca had the same confusion. The people of the hospital didn't resist the police? Theoretically, the hospital should be a force formed by the infiltration of the Great Mother, or at least operated by a Sequence Zero true god subordinate to her. There are two possibilities, Lumen said. One, the hospital is not an external projection, but originating from Mr. Fool's impression of the Mother Tree. Two, this is a symbol representing an external projection. Even if it originates from a great power, it cannot directly confront the main consciousness of the dream. In this city, the official power symbolizes the dream's consciousness. In other words, the individual police officers can be targeted and influenced, but confronting the entire police department is equivalent to confronting Mr. Fool plus the Celestial Worthy. Hold on, let me just put my phone on charge. It's about to die. Give me 1 sec. Oh, God. After stating his two guesses, Lumen added, I felt earlier that entering the basement of the hospital would be very dangerous. If the problem there was woven by the dream's consciousness originating from Mr. Fool's impression of the Mother Tree, it couldn't have reached that level. Jenna, sitting in the passenger seat, looked at the Mushu hospital and said, but the police, represented by Mr. Starr, only found the corpse. They didn't seem to have discovered any anomalies here, indicating that though the dream's consciousness cannot confront it, it has a way to conceal and deceive. There must be a mole, Franca said. Part of the dream's main consciousness must belong to the celestial worthy. You should be quite pleased to see the force infiltrated by the mother tree doing something, so he ignored those details. This also shows that regardless of whether it's Mr. Fool or the celestial worthy, they are in a state of slumber. Their consciousness blurred, only able to reach a certain extent when directly stimulated. Usually, they occasionally provide some inspiration based on received prayers. Otherwise, we would have been discovered and kicked out long ago when interacting with ordinary people. So Franca then took the opportunity to say, so don't think about live streaming, don't do anything in public, that would become a trending topic. If we do, the celestial worthy will immediately be stimulated and kick us out. Even if the celestial worthy doesn't scroll to it, his subordinates will. What's live streaming? Franca thought. Anthony was equally confused. Will it be seen by many people? Is it similar to the front page headline? You guys really haven't adapted as well as LEMMiNO, Franca thought. Then it briefly explained. On your phones, click the app with the black background and white patterns I downloaded for you. The hottest thing recently is true death metal. Everyone's attention became focused and serious. Near midnight, LEMMiNO brought Franca to the Mirror World, to the Moon Plaza they had visited at noon, arriving at a mirror in the surveillance room. Hidden in the area behind the mirror, they saw the mirror's surface, a large display screen split into multiple scenes, showing various areas of the mall and 2 security guards sitting in the front of the display. Is Alger singing in the side story? Oh, true! Thank you, Kami. At this time, Moon Plaza had long been closed for hours, and many of the scenes shown in the surveillance were pitch black. In this dream city, the moon was not crimson, but showed a faint silvery white occasionally tinged with yellow. Franca, both eager and cautious, stretched her right hand out of the mirror's surface, grasping a slightly larger makeup mirror. By the way, the only one that Klein thought was pretty or like in his dream or interacted with it was weirdly Bernadette, right? I don't recall anyone else. Then the surface of the makeup mirror rippled with illusory light invisible to the naked eye. The surveillance area seen by the security guards and the images captured by the several cameras in the room were instantly replaced by illusions. He did say Sharon was pretty for a ghost? Oh, true, yeah. Franca had immediately imagined her being able to use her powers after returning home, and now it felt like a rehearsal of her dream. I love how Sharon's the only one who retained her pathway. She's just still a wraith. She's like, ah. The 2 security guards had no reactions to their actions, as if they hadn't seen them. The scenes in their eyes still the same as before. Make haste, LEMMiNO said to Franca. He didn't know how to operate this surveillance system, or he would have done it himself. Franca adjusted the mirrored images to ensure they weren't static, while studying the mall surveillance footage. Hello, Dr. Z. Raynette had a coin. Oh, true. True. Soon, the image froze on the scene where she and LEMMiNO and the others were returning from the supermarket entrance. In the distance... By the way, why were you awake like 3 hours ago? What are we doing? Dr. Z, you not getting much sleep recently? In this distance of this image, where imported goods were stacked, a figure in a white dress was walking out of the flame. I was on the road? Oh, I see. This figure had beautiful features, small delicate ears, a fair slender neck, and an aura so clean it seemed untouched by dust. That is indeed the corpse, Franca said. Merrick also got a coin, I think, yeah. Before LEMMiNO could respond, she added, this appearance, temperament, and charm are more like a demigod-level demoness rather than a baby Cupid. How could a demoness be resurrected? Can you find out the entire activity trajectory of the corpse in the mall? Yes, Franca said, operating the surveillance system. It feels like wandering aimlessly, not buying anything, entering a store for a few minutes and leaving. It doesn't look like she's following anyone or searching for anything. Is she experiencing and touring a city like this for the first time? LEMMiNO joked. And then because she has no money, she doesn't dare to buy anything? Can't be that simple, LEMMiNO said. We almost encountered this corpse at noon, and then after lunch, the corpse showed anomalies. Danitz's corpse went to Mushu Hospital, where this corpse was reanimated. If it's not arranged by him, not his script, such a coincidence is enough to indicate a close connection between the two. If this corpse is a demoness, then I've had similar situations. When I first became a witch, I effectively received revelations from divination about something, but it was only revelations about time and place, so I aimlessly wandered back and forth in the arcade street in Trier, and then finally found something I encountered. Finally encountered something I wanted to encounter. LEMMiNO, who had just become a demoness for a short time and hadn't experienced anything similar, nodded. You mean the reanimated corpse received revelations through divination and came to wander? Her gain was getting closer to us, discovering clues about which mirror the Oracle's corpse was hidden in, so that corpse showed anomalies right after lunch. Is she a subordinate of the Celestial Worthy, searching for Danitz? Are they and the Mother Tree of Desire cooperating, using the hospital to obtain subordinates? The fact that she could directly come into contact with us on the surface, it's inspiration from divination, but in reality, it should be the law of characteristic convergence. Only high sequencers of the demoness and door pathway could possibly influence the mirror world from a distance, causing the Oracle's corpse to show anomalies. The female corpse may fit both situations. Franca meant that the corpse may be a demigod-level demoness receiving boons of the door pathway. But this reanimation of this corpse was definitely not finding the Oracle's corpse. From what that orderly confessed, she may have already been resurrected before the Oracle was killed. She must have had a more important role, carrying out a key task. Franca hissed and said, in the few days, besides observing the people and events around Mr. Fool, we need to find a way to locate this corpse, if we can eliminate her covertly without the Celestial Worthy noticing. If this were the real world, Franca wouldn't say this, because she wouldn't be sure that the corpse was a sequence 4, 3, or even higher. But here, in this city, everyone was suppressed to a sequence 7. LEMMiNO thought for a moment and said, there should be surveillance cameras on the street too, right? Can we find out where the corpse ultimately went? We could, but that would require infiltrating government departments. If discovered, it would be the same as confronting Dream's main consciousness. LEMMiNO suppressed the impulse in his heart and worked with Franca to restore the surveillance footage, erase their traces, and retreat back to the mirror world. The security guards only felt that the surveillance screens flickered for but a moment, then returned to normal. Franca and LEMMiNO returned to the car parked on the adjacent street, meeting up with Jenna and the others. As the vehicle drove towards the old town, LEMMiNO and Franca, who was driving, told their teammates about the findings. What's wrong? Jenna asked as LEMMiNO fell silent. We thought of going to the mall to check the surveillance to find the corpse. Would that corpse not think of checking the surveillance to see if any women with outstanding appearance passed by? The surveillance room, Franca said. We're on 9:15, Aaron. Am I kind of a bum for not mentioning it or keeping it up to date? Shut up. Harsh. Watch yourself, little buddy. Watch yourself. Moon Plaza, inside the surveillance room. LEMMiNO brought Franca, Jenna, and Anthony and Ludwig behind that mirror-like object, gazing through the mirror's surface. Compared to when they left, nothing had changed. Everything looked normal. Franca thought for a second and said, has she not come yet, or already been here? If that corpse had already checked the surveillance earlier, she would have likely discovered LEMMiNO and the others, and after all, the characteristics of a demoness were quite distinct. As long as the corpse was willing to spend enough time checking the footage, she wouldn't miss the corresponding footage. In that case, LEMMiNO and the others would have to consider changing their identities. For an already impoverished family, this would be horrible. Franca could only pray to Mr. Fool, hoping that the corpse would only come at midnight. After all, unlike them, she didn't have a specific time and location. She couldn't purposely check the surveillance in just a couple of minutes. The spiritual intuition of a demoness was also suppressed to a sequence 7. Both are possible, LEMMiNO said. Separated by the layers of mirrors in different spaces, he couldn't directly see whether the mirror mates in the surveillance room at the moment. Okay. To really peak, the plot management is neither rushed nor slow, just perfect. Maybe, Dr. Z. I could read it offline and then talk to you guys every now and then about it. That'd be fine with that. And the reanimated corpse is indeed very much like a demigod of the demoness pathway. Jenna was also observing the situation of the surveillance room and asked, does the female corpse also know about things like surveillance and understand how to operate them? She felt that the corpse was a projection of some external force, probably similar to themselves, but with just a different method of entry. She and Lumin and the others only discovered recently what surveillance was, what it was used for, and how to avoid it. If we can't do it, how can a newly reanimated corpse? Franca thought and answered. Perhaps the reanimated corpse is part of the dream, a demoness that's one of Mr. Fool's avatars once encountered. And the celestial worthy using the hospital made the demoness go through a process of death and resurrection, turning her into an obedient puppet. Trissy? Even if she is part of the dream, she wouldn't naturally master how to manipulate surveillance systems unless she previously engaged in this industry. That's true, Franca said. She had a flash of inspiration and took out her phone, intending to search on apps like Weeaboo, Boo, and other circles to see if there were any similar questions recently. Perhaps the corpse was looking at her phone while using currently waiting online rhetoric to urge netizens to answer how to operate certain surveillance systems. To Franca's disappointment, there was no signal in the mirror world. Lumin then said there's another possibility. The corpse had a guide, like Franca here. Member of the April Fools, the not dead Loki. Wasn't it said that Loki could have been reborn through the possession of an angel in the seer pathway? When we checked the surveillance early, we didn't find anyone like him. That's the faceless ability, Lumin said. And inside a mall, he could be anyone, changing outfits from time to time. Does this kind of screen, this kind of surveillance scenario, count as a mirror world? Franca asked. For a mystical concept, I don't think so. Not a reflection or an inversion, Lumin answered. Mystical concepts also need to keep up with... Chris, yo! Holy shit, buddy! You can just type that in. I still disagree with you. Okay, I don't know anything about Shadow Slave, I want to be clear. Okay, genuinely, I don't know what he did. He genuinely nuked my shit. I went to 0 frame. I'm at 0 again. Fuck me, seriously? Hold on. Dude, he genuinely fucking nuked my shit. Average American, bro. What the fuck? You know what, Chris? Okay, let me ask you just one question, okay? When you say clears, do you think it's better than Lord of the Mysteries, or do you think it's better than COI? Because if you want to say it's better than COI, I'm not that much into COI. I'm not that into COI. Fuck 'em, right? Alright, fucking you can have it. Whatever. It's cool. But, or do you mean Lord of the Mysteries? Because if you mean Lord of the Mysteries, we gotta have a big conversation here. Dude, Baijima, I don't know. I don't know what that was. My shit just broke. Lord of the Mysteries, but it's the bit at this point. Oh, okay. Alright, okay. You know what? Listen, if you think Lord of the Mysteries is better, but like not by like, let's say Lord of the Mysteries is like 9.5 in your book and Shadow Slave is like 9. You can have, and then you want to say like that it's better than Koi. You can have that because honestly, Koi has had such a. It had a portion like 100 chapters or so, 100, 150 chapters that was so shit. I'll give it to you, okay? Fuck it, whatever. You can have it. But I don't know. I don't know anything about Shadow Slave, so I don't want to. Next is Reverend Insanity, but I also don't plan on reading all of Reverend Insanity altogether because it's so fucking long, right? So if I do like Reverend Insanity, maybe we can do Shadow Slave after. Maybe we can do like, I don't know, a couple hundred chapters of Reverend Insanity and then go to Shadow Slave for a bit. I don't know. But yeah, everyone, I did think about going to Shadow Slave first before Reverend Insanity, but everyone in my community at the time just threatened to leave me, so I don't. I was much smaller back then for sure, but everyone genuinely said, we will never come back here if you ever put that on. It comes back in the volume that just ends. It had a bad book or two. Brother, what do you mean a bad book or two? How? So you're saying like it was bad for like 1,000 chapters? Stop it. What do you mean bad for a book or two? Oh, so peak. But seriously, dude, you should read Koi. This shit is... Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'll tell you the same thing I told the bum bitch. Okay, by that I do mean Dara, to be clear. Okay, you gotta volume 1. You should have fun. I don't think you should anyone should have any issues finishing volume 1. I think it's great. Volume 2 is absolute ass from a butt cheek. Genuinely, just slop. Absolute slop. A lot of French words, most of them useless because the French language is useless. And then aside from that, also garbage. Weird. Okay, volume 3, first half, kind of also dog shit, also not great. After that though, after the first half of volume 3, it's kind of been peak since. It's kind of been pretty peak since. Plus, listen, the only spoiler I'll give you, the MC is not bitchless. He's not a bitchless motherfucker. Listen, do I like my virgin friend Klein Moretti? Absolutely love that dude. Listen, if he wishes to be celibate for his queen Sharon, who am I to judge? Good for him. Bless him. Bless his heart. Entirety of volume 3 is good. Disagree, Chris. Respectfully, I respect your opinion. You're a valid lad. But I disagree. Non-bitchless MC helps? It does. Listen, I'm not gonna lie to you, it takes a while before he gets some bitches. He kind of do be on his celibacy arc. He's like, no, I'm gonna remain pure for, you know, my queen. I don't know who his queen is. I don't really care that much. But then eventually someone says, but you kind of want a piece of this. And he kind of goes, but I kind of do though. Oof. And he did. Let's go. Wait till you see the humongous dick of Fangio. Okay. I assure you the size of his penis was not part of my calculation. I assure you, not even in the conversation. It's irrelevant to me. He can have a micro penis for all I care. Not my concern. I don't want to know about it. But I don't know if you guys have ever... It's canon? Okay, that's crazy. Oh, by the way, Chris, I'm not sure if you saw, I sent you my Valo ID. Do add me whenever you get a sec, okay, buddy? What was I talking about? Oh, yeah, I'm not sure if you guys have seen, I don't know if any of you watched How I Met Your Mother, but there's this joke about so How I Met Your Mother is about this, like, group of 5 or 6 friends, and one of them at some point is dating a character named Max. Okay, she's a girl, Robin, she's dating Max. Max apparently turns out has a really small penis. and so Robin's friend tells her husband, like, hey, did you know Max has a small penis? And he's like, why the fuck would you tell me that? I work with the dude. He's like, I can't look a dude in the eyes and know that he has a small penis and call him Max. You're nuts. Oh my god. I love How I Met Your Mother. I don't know if any of you haven't seen it. Can't recommend enough. Super good sitcom. All right, bye, Chris. Thank you so much for popping by, dude. You really didn't. You could have just popped in to say that. We would have taken it just as seriously. I promise. Don't. I'm not. Seer, I will ban you, motherfucker. Okay. Okay. I will time you out. I'm not gonna ban you, but like I will time you out. Okay. I will put you in a horny jail. Calm yourself. But okay. Thank you so much, Chris. Seriously, you know how much that fucking means, dude. Seriously, thank you so much. And ironically, that's what I made last month on YouTube. Right there. I will not ban you. No, I will not ban you, but I will put you in horny jail. I'll do it, okay? I'll put you in horny jail. Watch me. Aaron, why do I hate you, bro? What? I don't hate you. Aaron, I love you, buddy. What are you talking about? Wait! Did Ronaldo score? Stop. There's no fucking shot. Oh my fucking god, he scored! It's a penalty, I know, I get that, but he scored. Cringe! Fuck. Okay, you know what, Kami, you want to say football, sleep, any other day of the week, whatever, okay? All you. The World Cup? No, fuck you, okay? Not the World Cup, damn it. Not the World Cup. Not the time. Are there demonesses in horny jail? No, it's just dudes. It's just dudes. He also scored an offside goal. My go. Okay, not my go. I want to be clear. Okay, hold on. Where was I? Lumin didn't know how to refute or complete, or how to refute for a moment. I could only directly express his views. I think it's closer to the world within the paintings, perhaps even incorporating the informaticized characteristics of the mystery prior pathway at high levels. Then it's a hybrid product of the mystery of the mirror world, the world without paintings, and the information world, Franca said. Lumin half closed his eyes, sensed for a moment, and said, "Indeed, there's a bit of qualities in the mirror world. We can traverse through it." As soon as he finished speaking, Anthony, who had been silent all along, said in a deep voice, "Don't you think those two guards outside are a bit strange? It has been 2 or 3 minutes and they haven't moved at all, like they've turned into statues." Statues? Franca's heart stirred. She took out a mirror, extending it towards the current mirror surface. She quickly positioned the angle and used the reflection of the light and the most basic function of the mirror. She saw the side profile of one of the guards. On the slightly dark makeup mirror, only illuminated by the reflection of the screen's light and that half faced with no expression, partly hidden in the dim environment, slightly illuminated, the two intertwining and sometimes changing. His eyes fixed on the surveillance screen with a hint of cold grey, seemingly hidden in the depths of the pupils. He looked alive, still with spirituality, but that was all just alive. Just with spirituality. Partial petrification of organs, Franca frowned. Lumin didn't answer, but looked around. The reanimated corpse has indeed been here, and after Franca and I finished watching the surveillance and left, I'll go out and search to see if there's any clues left. You can guard against any unexpected situations. Jenna and the others nodded. Lumin pressed his hands against the mirror surface and walked out as if passing through a layer of water curtain. In his male form, he circled to the front of the 2 security guards and found that they had both turned into warmth-carrying statues, expressionlessly looking ahead, motionless. Lumin's gaze moved from the grey-white hidden in the eyes of the 2 security guards and turned to large screens displaying dozens or hundreds of scenes simultaneously. Goddamn 1-1, Croatia, no, go, beat it their ass, you can't let them win. There was nothing unusual about that, but the human-machine interface below was frozen, and Lumin remembered that Franca had restored it to its initial state, fleeing in a hurry. That female corpse sensed the disturbance in the mirror world and urgently traversed through the large screen itself. Will she circle back to see who infiltrated? As these thoughts occurred, Lumin turned sideways, looking towards the mirror object he had come from. Almost simultaneously, on the surveillance footage in a dark corner, a pale but alluring hand stretched out, extending beyond the screen. In the area behind the mirror, while Lumin was investigating the surveillance system, Franca suddenly heard Ludwig making smacking sounds. What is he eating now? Franca instinctively turned towards to look at the little boy. She saw Ludwig opening his mouth and constantly sucking in air, chewing and swallowing. "Why are you eating air?" Franca asked. "Delicious. There are many things with spirituality." "Mystical pathogen?" "Mirror substitution," she called out directly. After hearing Ludwig's answer, Jenna's spiritual intuition also received a dangerous signal. Without Franca's reminder, she followed and triggered her mirror substitution. Anthony was a second slower than them. At this moment, at the edge of the mirror, at the edge of the spiderweb-like illusory tunnel, a figure outlined, wearing a white dress, a loose bun, with beautiful features and clean aura. This female corpse held a mirror in her hand, which had already reflected Franca's figure, her other hand burning with quiet flames. Silently, Franca's figure, which had just degenerated into a mirror, burst into flames from inside out, shattering. Seeing that the assassination attempt had failed and there were 4 enemies, the corpse immediately stepped back and disappeared into the tunnel, causing the 7 demoness black flames created by Jenna and the frenzy used by Anthony to all miss. Inside the surveillance room, LEMMiNO turned around with a straight sword already condensed from frost in his hand. He swung the straight sword towards the hand reaching out from inside. That hand retracted, and LEMMiNO's frost straight sword consequently fell onto the surface of the screen, bizarrely dematerializing, bringing LEMMiNO as it melted into the large screen, diving in. After the corpse retreated into the dark tunnel, Franca's first reaction as her figure was being outlined was to use the ice amulet that LEMMiNO had remade, bringing Jenna and Anthony to chase after the enemy. She gripped the clear charm that she had already taken out of her bag, but used her spiritual intuition made her pause. The destination of the reanimated corpse mirror traversal was unknown, but there may be her companions waiting. Rashly chasing after her could lead them into a trap. Moreover, chasing after her meant separating from LEMMiNO, making them easier to be defeated. Franca gazed for a second, then immediately said to Jenna, Anthony, and Ludwig, "Leave here, go to the surveillance room." Who knew how long the reanimated corpse had been hiding at the edge of the tunnel, producing how many pathogens staying in this area would lead to severe illness? After relying solely on Ludwig eating like this, mouthful by mouthful, who knew how long it would take to clear out the pathogen? More importantly, this angel's condition had been lowered to that of a Sequence 7 as well. Dude, Croatia is hanging on by their fucking teeth. These fucking loser... Oh! Oh! Go. Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. Whoa. I'm sorry. Okay. This pathogen he ate wouldn't affect him, but those that invaded his skin, eyes, and respiratory tract could still infect him. At this point, it would be a race to see whether Ludwig could finish the pathogens first, or the pathogens beat him. Bye, Harsh! Additionally, Franca and Jenna's demoness black flames were also restricted by the dream, only able to produce a few at a time, cluster after cluster. But the dream's restriction had both advantages and disadvantages. The plague ability of the corpse was also suppressed to a Sequence 7. Jenna and Anthony didn't question Franca's decision, only Ludwig was reluctant to leave. He wanted to eat even if he got sick, even if he died. Jenna grabbed the boy, forcibly dragging him out of the area. At this moment, Jenna felt another digestion of her potion. "Let me go," Ludwig said. They entered the surveillance room, but they didn't see LEMMiNO. Was he attacked, Franca's thought? Or did he go chasing? Just as Franca finished speaking, she saw that every surveillance scene on the screen had changed. They once again displayed the scenes from noon, from when the corpse had arrived. I feel like Klein is so much... Or, fuck me. Dude, 1,000 chapters in, and in my mind it's still Klein. That's crazy. Okay, that's genuinely fucking mind-numbing. I feel like LEMMiNO is so much stronger now, because having 2 different Sequence 7 powers right now, or maybe even 3, is so much stronger, because at this sequence, at Sequence 7, you don't have that many abilities, and so you can't really compensate as much. In those scenes arranged in the crisscrossing matrix, the reanimated corpse that originally belonged to the surveillance footage either raised their heads or half-turned their bodies, all staring uniformly towards the outside of the screen. He's dual pathway and boon. Wearing white dresses and loose buns, they instantly had the same expression change, their faces and delicate hands reaching towards the camera one after another, extending out from the surveillance screen. They crawled out from the screen one by one, their faces dark. Seeing this scene, Franca, relying on her spiritual intuition and demoness vision, couldn't distinguish which of these corpses were the real and which fake. For a moment, she even doubted whether they were all real or fake. She took out the cannon gun, which had become the inevitable gun, aiming at the surveillance footage, intending to shatter the screen so that the corpse that hadn't fully crawled out would be thrown into the depths of the surveillance world. Franca's finger was on the trigger, but she didn't pull it. She felt that Lumen's disappearance might be because he had also entered this world, and if she shattered the screen, and the surveillance world truly had some characteristics of the mirror world, Lumen too would be swallowed. Although Franca couldn't respond in time, she still had companions. Anthony stepped forward, his eyes vertical. He emanated a terrifying aura as if standing at the top of the food chain, and a range-type awe attack that targeted the surveillance screen. The female corpse crawling out of the footage one by one froze but quickly returned to normal, as if they hadn't been resurrected, still corpses, naturally not afraid or panicked. Jenna quickly turned her head, pointing. "Which one tastes the best?" she asked Ludwig. "The one that tastes the best should be the real one." Ludwig swallowed his saliva and pointed at the one at the bottom right. "I want that one!" Before Ludwig could even answer, Franca had already concealed her figure, and while he pointed at the food he wanted most, Franca, wearing a black t-shirt and a woman's pants, outlined at the side of that corpse. She held the inevitable gun in one hand and the nearly invisible wintry blade in the other, stabbing the latter towards the target that hadn't fully crawled out of the screen. That reanimated corpse shattered like a mirror, along with the figures of the other corpses becoming illusory, disappearing. The next second, beside that mirror decorative item that Franca and the others had crawled out from, that female corpse with beautiful features and a slender neck wearing a white dress and loose buns emerged, gripping an ice crystal dagger covered in black flames in one hand, stabbing towards Anthony's chest. "No, my goat, Anthony! It's over! It's over!" Dude, that's offside, right? Is that offside? That's offside! Fuck! Shit! Shit, that's offside. Fuck. After passing... I'm sorry. Okay, I'm super invested in this. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm super invested in the book, not the game, for sure. After passing through the screen, Lumen appeared in a dark, silent, empty hall. Or empty mall. At this moment, the escalators had stopped running and the shops had all pulled down their shutters. Lumen quickly scanned around and saw a figure in a white dress flash past the passage. The black mark on Lumen's shoulder lit up, allowing him to teleport over. As his figure was being outlined at the entrance of the passage, his palm had already taken out his phone. Lumen wanted to glance at his phone that had lit up and found no signal. Is this an alternate space formed by this surveillance footage, an illusory world, similar to the mirror world, but also similar to the world in the paintings, Lumen thought. Stuffing his phone into the traveler bag instead of his pocket, he was worried that the upcoming battle may damage the phone. For an impoverished family, that would be a huge loss. In Lumen's eyes, that figure in the white dress had already run to the corner. Seeing was believing. Simultaneously, Lumen blinked behind the target, thrusting the crystal straight sword. Just as the sword touched the figure instantly wavered like water ripples and disappeared. YouTube subbed off. YouTubers stopped off. Portugal percentage went up by 20%. Whoa. What are you saying? Just because one of them has a World Cup trophy and the other one has a fucking gold play button, you're saying that's not the same? Not? Wow. Okay, bro. An illusion created using the mirror of the sink outside the men's and women's restroom. At this moment, in the dark corner in the entrance of the men's restroom, a figure emerged holding a medium-sized mirror, reflecting Lumen. Taking advantage of the opportunity when Lumen's attention was on the illusion, the figure pressed its hand covered in black flames towards the mirror's surface. Black flames erupted from Lumen's eyes, nose, and mouth, but the figure began to fade. This was also an illusion. Behind the vague figure in the dark corner of the entrance of the restroom. Nope, already read this. Lumen clenched his fist. Lumen clenched his right hand into a fist in a posture of muscle swelling, striking at the junction of the enemy's neck and back. Cull plus mighty blow. This bang shattered the figure into pieces, scattering around. Immediately after, Lumen felt invisible spider silk wrapping around him from all directions, trying to bind him, and intending to interfere with his movements. Lumen grunted, and thrusts of black flames binding madness and danger spontaneously appeared. The flames of destruction, igniting those silks instantly like a real hunter's flames, then spread, devouring all combustibles around. In the blink of an eye, Lumen had rid himself of the influence of the demoness, spiderwebs, and plague. At the entrance of this passage, a female figure clearly appeared in the light of the burning spiderweb. She wore a white dress, loose-spun, had beautiful features. The female corpse. In the surveillance room, as Franca's strike failed to succeed, Jenna and Anthony changed positions. The latter avoided the ice dagger assassination out of the corpse, but this also gathered the three of them into a small area. The corpse's gaze then turned to the two security guards sitting motionlessly. One of the security guards immediately broke free from his state and stood up. In the next second, his body was like it had been filled with a large amount of gas, swelling to a ball. During this process, the grey-white in the depths of his eyes tinged with yellow-green. Boom! The security guard exploded like a balloon stretched to its limit, his flesh and organs torn to pieces, carrying pus impacting the entire room. A virus bomb? That corpse was also within the range of the body, but she was prepared, taking a step back, hiding in the mirror. What is that guy's working that guy's a fucking wage slave working for a minimum wage, and you decide, yeah, I gotta kill that motherfucker first? Bro, I think you got your priorities backwards, bro. I mean, I know it's a dream, but like, he's based off a real guy. He's based off of some poor fuck who's just working a minimum wage job, and he's got fucking blown up like a balloon. The flesh and oozing yellow pus sprayed like sudden rain towards everyone in the surveillance room. Frank had no time to use the ice amulet, nor to grab Jenna and the others and bring them into the compact mirror world. She could only face the explosion. Crack. Jenna started cracking Franca. Whoa, I'm sorry, where did that come from? Whoa. In this situation, the three of them could only instinctively use their mirror substitutions. First being shattered by the impact wave, then coated with sticky flesh and still writhing with pus. Ludwig, who had just been given a mirror substitution by each of the three demonesses, didn't use it himself. Instead, he crouched down, hugging the body tightly to minimize his exposed area. Crouching down, he opened his mouth. His mouth corner stretched without any restrictions, expanding all the way to the back of his head. The flesh, mixed with the explosion bash, rushed into Ludwig's mouth, heading straight for his stomach. Unfortunately, Ludwig, enjoying this buffet, only lasted 2 seconds before triggering his mirror substitution. This terrifying giant mouth shaped seemed to be the appearance without sufficient strength, only at a sequence 7. The blast subdued in an instant, and the figures of Jenna, Franca, and the others outlined in the surveillance room. Everyone now covered in pus. As a demoness of affliction, Franca and Jenna instinctively believed that this place was now full of diseases. Without hesitation, Franca raised her right hand, revealing the ice amulet. This charm had been remade by Lumen and could now be used for mere traversal 4 more times. Guys, 3 more minutes! Push! One last big push! And you get to put that fucking loser YouTuber to bed. This crystal charm... hold on. As soon as they saw Franca reveal the amulet, Anthony Jenna immediately moved closer to her, grabbing her arm. Ludwig hesitated for a moment, but still joined them. Ronaldo. The next second, the 4 figures blurred and entered the compact mirror in Franca's hand. Franca didn't linger at all, bringing her companions to traverse into another metal decorative item with a mirror effect in the surveillance room. The compact mirror, no longer held by anyone, fell to the ground and shattered to pieces, causing the corresponding area behind the mirror to collapse. These shards would take different amounts of time to become mirrors again in the mystical sense. Without considering other factors, the larger the shard, the better the mirror effect, the shorter the time needed to regenerate. Conversely, the smaller the shards, the longer it would take. After transferring the interior of the mirror decorative item, Franca spoke rapidly without remaining vigilant against a sudden attack. A demoness of despair doesn't have the ability to make people half dead turn into plague bombs. A demoness of unaging? Listen, it's never gonna happen, but my goal as a YouTuber, if I could ever get this shit to actually work to any degree, would be to play in the Sidemen a charity match. That would genuinely be the dream. It's never gonna happen, but that would be the dream. It could also be with the help of Order of Extinction or possession of similar items, Jenna suggested. Is Mushu Hospital not just home to the Mother Tree of Desire? Franca said. The hospital as a whole should simultaneously possess the healing abilities related to the Mother Pathway. The influence of the Mother Tree of Desire pathway on spirit desires, corpses, and hospital urban legends, as well as control over diseases and pathogens from the Order of All Extinction Believers, or the Demoness pathway. One day, not. So, Dr. Z, there's a group of YouTubers, I'm sure you've heard of at least some of them, called the Sidemen. They're like really, really big YouTubers in the UK. Like so big that they are like, they're just genuinely just celebrities in the UK. They all, right? Every year they do a charity match where they sell out, like, I think it's Wembley Stadium. It's like thousands, tens of thousands of tickets. All of the proceeds, aside from like obviously the requirements to pay off stuff, go to a charity. I don't know which charity, but then they get like a team of like 25, 30 YouTubers or whatever to do an 11-on-11 soccer match. So they get like a bunch of YouTubers, like, you know, whoever are really big in a given year, plus the Sidemen. KSI is part of it. Road to Shaw. I don't know Josh's fucking name. Yeah. As Franca spoke, without any embellishment, she observed that the situation in the surveillance room and attempted to use the ice amulet to transmit information through mirrors to send simple intelligence to a certain mirror on Lumion. As long as Lumion hadn't left the current Howfog district, he would receive it. Jenna guarded against the direction of the illusory tunnel that made the spider web, while Anthony said carefully, "That female corpse is almost unaffected by awe, making me feel like she's more like a dead person than a living one." By the way, does anyone know where Chris is from? Because I thought Chris was American, but he just said he has to go back to work. There's no fucking way he's working at 8 p.m. I mean, he could. That'd be odd. Is she a zombie? A Mother Tree of Desire believer hiding nearby controlling her? Or we didn't guess earlier that she may have had a companion, possibly Loki. Is it possible that she's actually a marionette, with the marionettist hiding nearby? But according to the intel provided by the major arcana holders, even normal marionettes can only control marionettes within a range of 100 meters. Now their abilities would be suppressed to a sequence 7. Their range should be no more than 40 meters, Jenna said. She paused. It wasn't that there was no one around. There were two people. There were two people nearby. The two security guards. One of the security guards had turned into a plague bomb and disintegrated, and the other was still sitting. Their gaze fell upon that security guard. He seemed to sense and turned his body, his clothes now tattered, his body pitted and uneven, different areas of his face either missing skin, suffering abrasions, or flesh split open. That's cool. We should have killed him. I stand corrected, not. I'm sorry. She should have killed them both. I'm sorry. It's my fault. I gave pity on them. It was my fault. It was my weakness. It shan't happen again, my lord. These were the after effects of being hit directly in the explosion by the other security guard. The security guard, with half his face almost unrecognizable, reflected the flickering light from the surveillance screen, smiling. As his smile bloomed, his body swelled, becoming a human-shaped balloon. The balloon burst, countless viscous flesh, yellow-green pus splattered onto the flesh of the metal decorative items, where Franca and the others hiding, smearing it into a mess, preventing Franca and Anthony from seeing outside. Let's change positions, Franca said, turning to Jenna and Ludwig. In the Moon Plaza, formed by the surveillance footage. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I am ready to fucking end stream any minute now. So we'll keep going until the match ends, but I really want to go to the gym now. Lumion bent his back, drew the sword of courage, and sprinted from outside the men and women's room. Inside, on the wash basin mirror, behind the two restrooms, a female figure wearing a white dress appeared, a projection created by that demoness. Although it only possessed a fraction of the original body's power, it was still capable of assassination. It aimed to deliver a fatal blow to Lumion from behind. Almost simultaneously as she emerged, that figure that had black hair, beautiful features, and a cold expression. Lumion's feminized image. This projection, completed with the help of precision, instantly turned into a ball of black flames, enveloping the mirror image projection of the corpse, causing her to be thoroughly ignited. Lumion, wielding the Sword of Courage, continued without pause, charging towards the corpse without looking back. No! It's so over. No! Oh, Portugal's up 2-1. It's so over, boys. Hold on, let me just watch the play really quick. Oh, that's a beautiful pass. What the fuck? Beautiful header too, but beautiful pass. Thank you, Kami. I appreciate you, buddy. We're going back to reading right now. You're all good. Fuck. Shit, that was a good pass and a good header. What the fuck? At this moment, in front of the reanimated corpse, a crystal-like but sharp frost spear is condensed. Such a frost of spear couldn't be accomplished by Sequence 7, which only Beyonders who had reached a demoness of despair and gained further control, but was restricted to a Sequence 7, could do this, equivalent to an ice spear condensation evolving into an ice spear forest at Sequence 4, but now is only an ice spear forest at Sequence 7. Yeah, fuck. If Lumion didn't stop in time, he would crash into this forest of ice spears, being pierced through. At this moment, Lumion's figure suddenly became blurred and distorted, like an image displayed. It only took the blink of an eye before becoming blurry and distorted to completely disappearing. Lumion swung the Sword of Courage diagonally, chopping towards the target soldier. But they all got this vibe? Yeah. He swung the Sword of with a whoosh, the flames ignited on the Sword of Courage. Boom! Lumion's single stroke cleaved the female corpse in two, exploding. The corpse, having used a substitute, didn't appear immediately, disappearing into the darkness. Lumion's expression didn't change as he pressed the Sword of Courage into downwards in a smooth motion. Flames flew out from the sword, covering the area, collapsing walls and igniting merchandise. The crimson fire held quickly engulfed nearly half a floor in continuous high temps. Don't park the bus, go get 'em, boys! Go. Oh, fuck. Under such wide AoE attacks, the figure of the corpse was affected, forcing her out of her invisible state, appearing to Lumion's side and rear. Inside the surveillance room, the corpse, who had previously fought with Franca and others, left her hiding place in the object and appeared in the room, now covered everywhere with viscous flesh and pus. Taking advantage of the opportunity that various pathogens and decay forces were permeating this area and would quickly infect Franca and the others, she condensed a long ice spear covered in flames and thrust it forward towards the surveillance screen. The power of the two previous disease bombs wasn't enough, mainly focused on spreading pathogens and decay forces, so they couldn't directly destroy the large screen. Now, the corpse wanted to personally destroy the screen, causing the corresponding alternate space to collapse, making the enemies fighting in there and her other self fall into the chaotic flow together, to be torn to pieces. Alright guys, how about we call it there? 9:17, 7 chapters. I know that's not as much as we normally do, but how about we call it there? It was, and it's still hot as shit today. Dude, I'm not doubting you, okay? It's 9 p.m. and it's 30 degrees Celsius. I live in Canada, bro. What do you mean 30 degrees Celsius? 9 p.m.? This is beach weather. This is supposed to be at fucking noon. What do you mean? 9 p.m. Fucking conservative. Global warming not real. Fuck you guys, bro. Yeah. Dude, you know what the biggest conservative psyop in the fucking universe is to me, bro? It's that we had to change the name global warming to climate change because these motherfuckers were like, well, actually everywhere is not getting hot, so you can't call it global warming. What the fuck are you guys talking about, bro? When did you guys become the fucking party of let's get real fucking specific, bro? What the fuck are we talking about? Actual fucking cancer AIDS bullshit. Don't even fucking get me started on this shit, okay? It's 20 degrees, it's 4:38. Yeah, but what's your high of today? I don't know I'm just going with Tehran, which is the fucking capital. Weather today. Let's fucking see what your fucking weather looks like. Tehran has a high of 33? You're telling me my city is a higher high than fucking Tehran? My high... What? Bro, what universe am I living in? I gotta put my TV together. Hey, nice, Chris. Alright. Bug. We're ending right now. Alright, guys. I don't want to stay too long because I want to piss Bug off. So, alright, everyone, have a good night. I'll catch y'all tomorrow, okay? Bye, guys. Did you know some Americans still don't believe in climate change? Yep. It's Bug. It's Bug. Bug specifically is the last one. Everyone else believes it's Bug. Convince them. Bye, guys.